Okay guys, we've got day one, test one here of a multi-day, what will be a multi-day, perhaps a week-long experiment. I just finished my morning run a little bit ago. This is Saturday morning. It's a little bit after 9 a.m. I've been up here doing calisthenics and a cool down, drinking water. Something changed up here behind me. I did not see movement. I did not see motion. I do not believe I saw anything running out of the corner of my eyes. What I will tell you is that the distance between these two brush piles changed. I didn't see the brush pile moved, but the distance between these two brush piles, and perhaps it was a pile of wood up here, is clearly different than it was when I came up here about 30 minutes ago after my run to do my calisthenics, then my cool down, drink my water. I've got the camera set up. I've got the tripod buried. I will not be moving the tripod over the next several days so that when I come up, I can get the exact same shot from the exact same angle. At least a day. Maybe it'll only take a day. But I want you to help me. I want you to watch, not just for movement, not just for him, her, it, or they, but focus on the distance. This is what I'm thinking. It's the distance between these brush piles. Brush piles that have been here for more than 3 years. They were the limbs from a loblolly pine that fell up here during a windstorm. Cut the pine up, used it as campfire wood, threw the limbs out here to become a place of refuge for rabbits, various birds, snakes, whatever lives up here in the meadow, okay? Very important for the wildlife. Keep your eyes on it. I'm gonna run the camera for a minute or so. Let's see if we catch anything. I'm gonna come back up this afternoon, do the same thing, do it again this evening before dark, and we're gonna look at the tail of the tape and see what it is that's changing. We had something very similar to this happen last fall with fence posts and a stump. Now it seems to be happening with brush piles. I don't know what's going on, but we will get to the bottom of it. Okay, it's afternoon now, day one, test scene 2. It's 2:30. I was out here, I think, at 9:30. 5 hours. Ugh. Something's different. I swear I cannot tell exactly what, but of course that's why I'm doing this. The reason we're not doing pictures this time is because last time I took pictures, I was accused of manipulating the pictures. So we're using actual video. I should have done this morning, but it's looking like, hey, what's up? Surf out, dude. I don't know if it's the distance between these brush piles or they're whatever. This is the afternoon take. Let it run for about a minute or so, do it again this evening. I'm gonna compare these videos and see what's going on. Something is different. Day one, recording session 3. It's about 30 minutes before dark and there's a light rain. Cowabunga! I'm gonna measure that with a tape measure tonight once I get this on screen to look at the tape. Something's different. What is that weird? Okay, this is day 2, test episode 1. We're moving the camera because when I watched the footage last night, I saw what I'm sure you've recognized by now. It had nothing to do with brush piles. I took out a tape measure. I'm gonna pull the tripod up right now. We're going to a different location. Okay, the campground where we just were is way up here. I don't have my eyes on brush piles. I've got my eyes on something else. And if you've been following along this far, you've probably noticed it too. Let's try for day 2 and see if we see the same thing here, something different, or nothing at all. I'll be back to check this later. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to do 3 miles, come back, see where we are. Oh man, the camera shut off. I've been running for 23 minutes. Must have turned back on when it saw me. I'll check later. Okay, this is day 2. Second part of the research filming. I missed the middle part of the day. It's going to be dark in a couple of hours, but it rained most of the day. You know, this might just be an issue of lighting because it's been raining off and on the last couple of days, and I know when the light shines at different places at different times in different ways, it looks different, but it seems like there's more than that going on here. I don't see anything, I don't hear anything, I'm not detecting movement. Just something looks different than it did the last time I was out here. Well, the rain stopped and it looks like I was able to get out here to get the third test film of today, day 2 of this experiment. You hear the frogs and the crickets. It's about the time of day. Things get real creepy around here. Day's about over. Night's falling fast. It's not our time anymore, it's their time. Okay, this is day 3, and this scene totally was unplanned. There is something directly above my shoulder, the one I'm moving, back there behind that X, peeking around the tree at me as I'm out here setting up for this test study. This is day 3. I'm gonna flip the phone around and see if we can zoom in on this thing. Guys, this is a very peculiar, there it went, it's peeking in and out behind the trees. This is not human, whatever it is. My God, I just heard it. See there, center. What in the name of God is that? Well, that was creepy, but not totally surprising. That's not the first time we've seen something like that back in those woods, which are right back here. So guys, this is day 3 of this experiment, and I intentionally skipped the morning and afternoon segments and waited straight till evening, and here's why. It's obvious by now what the differences are. You've spotted them in this video if you're still watching, but there's really no difference between catching these differences with video versus still frames, which we did last fall when these things were happening. We've got to catch motion or it proves nothing. Even if we catch motion, we still don't know what that'll prove, but at least we'll have something to work with. Guys, there's a reason I set up day 3 test experiment here. This is the most active ley line on our property. We've seen more activity right here within sight of this camera than anywhere else. So I spent the day, instead of out here getting more still imagery, researching. I believe I finally have the settings right on this camera. Ugh. Ugh. Hold on, I think I'm bleeding. Wait a minute. Okay, so hold on. So what should happen if we've got the settings correct is that after I walk away, the camera will still record for, I don't know, a minute, but then it'll fall asleep. But if anything moves back here, it should turn it back on. So we're either going to get something moving, or I'm 80% of the way into a video that's never going to get uploaded. I don't know if these things just appear, if we can see them as they appear, or if we see them move after they appear, or if we see nothing at all. But that's why we're running this test. Got a couple of hours before dark. Let's see how it goes. Get my 6 as I go in the house.